Who is your cousin Q?
Q, don't let my family know this, is my favorite cousin. He liked everything I liked when I got to St. Louis. He liked girls, he liked dancing, he liked stealing cars at night from his mother so we could go out. It was like he was my only male. I had a lot of cousins, but they were mostly young women. He was my only male cousin that was my age, that was into the things that I was into. He liked to fight, all of that stuff. So he was my best cousin in the world.
What was his influence on you once you got there?
He had a good influence on me because I had somebody that was like me, and I was used to having my crew in New York, and I didn't have that in St. Louis. And everything about New York is you have a crew. You have your set of friends, y'all ride or die for each other, and I didn't have that in St. Louis. And when him and I got together, it was instant. And he was the main reason I had a pass into the life, because after we were kids, he went on and he took off. Like we hadn't seen each other in years. And the next time I saw him, that's when crack hit St. Louis, and he was a multi-millionaire, and I wanted in. And at that time, he wouldn't let me hustle. He would not. He's like, you're gonna go to college. I'm not. And he told everybody, don't sell him nothing. He can't work. He told the whole city. So in St. Louis, it was nothing I could do. I could maybe get some dirt weed or something, but nobody on any level that was doing anything, they wouldn't let me work because of him.
That's a good cousin.
Yeah, that's a good cousin.
So who did you meet first, and how did you meet him between Terry and Meech?
Oh, it was Meech first. A lot of people don't know, when Terry, and Meech left Detroit, they got work out of St. Louis. And my cousin, Q, was the biggest in St. Louis. So that's how the relationship is. They're always tight. He never fell out with either one of them with the sibling rivalry or whatever that is. So he was a segue in everything, but it was mutual. It wasn't like one worked for the other. They were on the same level. In this drug world, sometimes your plug goes out, sometimes her plug goes out. So you got to go to him because you want to keep business going. You still got to provide for your people, you know? So that's how the relationship. So it was primarily with Meech.
So Q was the conduit between you and the fam.
Oh yeah. And then J-Bo.
And J-Bo.
A lot of people don't know about J-Bo is that we were on this Junior Olympics track team in St. Louis. And he actually was a good football player, had scholarship offers, and was a even better track runner and had scholarship offers. But, you know, he took another route to the streets. But we had ran summer track together, Junior Olympics, and we were at rival schools. So we knew of each other, was mutual respect. And once everybody came to Atlanta, it was a different ball game. You know, all bets was off then.
At some point, you begin to drive. How does that come about? How does you driving for the fam begin?
How does me driving for BMF, Black Mafia Family, begin? Well, first, I always want to put this disclaimer. There's a 60-month statute of limitation, right? Some crimes like murder, which I have no idea about, never participated in, never did anything associated with that. That statute of limitation is infinite. But for drugs, there's a statute of limitation. So I can speak on these things, Cavario. I first started driving for Q in the 90s for my cousin, right? After, you know, we were grown then, so he couldn't stop me, so I might as well be on his team, right? So I had drove for my cousin Q, and then another guy.
What were the runs?
It was back then in the 90s, the major run was I-75. It was out of Miami. You go up Miami, you go straight up 95, that's to New York and the Eastern Seaboard. Then you go up 75 to Atlanta, to Detroit, Ohio, and all the rest of them. Sometimes you could go through Alligator Alley. Sometimes you could take the most vicious Turnpike, the Florida Turnpike through Orlando and that there. So that was the route that everybody used to take. And then it switched. It was a lot of Boricuas and Mexicans in Chicago. So that was a great run from Chicago to St. Louis. You could ping pong that all day and never get tired, because even driving the speed limit is a 4.5-hour drive. And then if you had a Missouri car in Illinois, it doesn't look crazy. When you got a Florida car in California, that looks crazy. You always got to think, what are the police thinking? What is their mindset? What are they looking for? They run in place, they looking at plates. What looks odd? So that was the run for the most part. Miami, and then it was a big Chicago run too. There was a lot of work in Chicago years ago.